This episode of Sessions with Stef is brought to you by our partner, Fearless Sounds. Francesca Sacerdoti, along with her amazing team, take care of every artist's needs when it comes to marketing, playlist placement, advertising, and artist management. You can follow Fearless Sounds on Instagram and Facebook, or just give them a call at 514-409-6061. Thank you, Francesca, and thank you, Fearless Sounds. And now, we present to you our latest session with Stef.
Yes, it's Sessions with Stef, another Wednesday evening in your living rooms, because that's what we do here at Sessions with Stef. We walk into your living room, we give you a couple of songs, we give you amazing guests, and we talk music shit. That's what it's all about. I love doing this thing. It's amazing. Tonight I meet someone for the first time, and I'm super excited, and I will introduce very soon Noelle, but I'll introduce her. I'll give her a beautiful introduction, or my at least I think it's a beautiful introduction because I make some stuff
I'll
up.
I'll let you know.
But before everything, nothing happens without a little drink and a little cheers.
Like 3 times bigger than yours?
Oh,
what's going on here, Steph?
Because the bottle is right near me, and I'm gonna shoot this. So
I'm not gonna shoot it.
Cheers! Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
She's behind the camera there.
Cheers, cheers.
Oh man, that's so good. And this is
Clears
a shout
the
out.
sinuses.
I'm giving a shout out because I just spoke to Paul. I know you're watching, as I just spoke to you, and you know I'm filming, so I know you're gonna watch this one. Paul, this shot's for you and for the hyphens, guys. I miss you guys.
Hey, hyphens, guys. I know you too.
She knows you too, right?
I know you, Paul. I know you, Spy.
They're the best. Spy, Dan, Spy, Paul. I love you guys, man. So yes, welcome to Sessions with Stef. This is another edition. It's going to be a fun one. You obviously can watch us on YouTube, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, all of that stuff. If you're in your car, in your shower, and you want to hear people acting like an idiot, well, no, not people, myself acting like an idiot with great guests. Subscribe, watch, like, do all of that stuff. And why you do that is because we get sponsors. The more you subscribe, the more sponsors we get. We love this shit. And we've got a new one today. He's a real estate broker, which Lisa is now going to give the rundown for our Sutton Group real estate agent named
Serge Kuroglian.
Serge, you're the best.
Serge, thank you so much. He is with Sutton Excellence. I had the privilege to work with Serge, and he is really, really on the ball. He takes care of his clients. He takes care of his work. He's very professional. Sutton Excellence at 1555 Boulevard de l'Avenir, Bureau 100 at Laval. And to reach Serge at any time, 514-892-5649. So Serge is your man if you want to buy, sell. He is definitely your guy and your go-to. So thanks so much, Serge.
Serge, thank you very, very much. I'm going to give you a little ad. I'm going to do an ad-lib ad right now. Can you give me like some sort of chord or 2 chords put together? And so buying a home is the most important thing you can do in your life, other than having children. Okay, that was made up. But buying a home is very important, and you need the advice and the help from smart and dedicated people, real estate agents. But not only just a real estate agent, you need the help of Serge. Serge works with Sutton. Lisa knows Serge because she's in the real estate game, and she vouches for him. So that is very important. So Serge, keep doing your good work. And guys, if you need a real estate agent, go with Serge. Thank you.
Serge, this one's for you.
That one's for you. So guys, welcome to Sessions with Stef. Now the good times roll. I'd like to welcome singer-songwriter Noelle Hannibal.
Hello.
She can also play the guitar, as you can see. She's
Barely.
going to perform a song. No. She's going to perform a song on the guitar. She's going to sing a song off her new EP. The song is called Ain't a Tourist, right?
Yep.
A Tourist.
Ain't a
I was going to
Tourist.
say Ain't It a Tourist, but it's not. It's Ain't a Tourist. And the EP is called Ain't a Tourist. And
It is.
of course, the song is from that. And she's going to give you one of her old songs as well, I believe.
Yep.
She is you were born in LA?
Born and raised.
Born and raised in
Valley
LA.
girl.
What the
Like,
hell?
oh my God.
Brought you here.
My mom is from here.
Okay.
And we were visiting family, and I met my husband. And, I had dual citizenship, and it was the whole, like, I was working in film and television in Los Angeles. And, doing okay at it. Like I was mentioning to Lisa before we started, I worked in the Star Trek universe. And the coolest thing there will ever be about me is that I have my own Star Trek trading card.
Oh.
But the casting couch offers it's a real thing. If you know,
Okay.
you know. It's a pretty gross industry. At least it certainly was in the 90s when I was working in it. And so I was like, I could put my stuff in storage and move to Canada. Sure, why not?
I want to go freeze in the winter. Like, I love it. I love minus 20
I
and snow.
reject winter. Seasonal
doesn't?
affective disorder is real.
Yeah, absolutely.
I miss the ocean. I miss my friends and family that are there, but
Do you go often?
I do, but I don't miss LA, and I don't miss the freeways and the traffic, and I don't miss the film and TV industry there.
The 40 years. I mean, I know it's not LA.
This is true. I mean, I remember when I first moved here, and my cousin was we were in traffic going to the Bell Center or something, and she was complaining about the traffic, and I was laughing at her. I'm like, you think this is traffic? You don't know. 11 o'clock at night, if you want to drive from LAX to the Valley, it's going to take you 2 hours, and it should take you 30 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad.
Wow.
But I do go back regularly. I was just there this summer. I toured, did some touring, and got to see Taylor Swift 3 times.
You did some touring in LA.
I did some touring. Yeah, I did a bunch of shows. I drove from San Francisco down to San Diego, and I played all the way down.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was kind of great.
So, singer, songwriter, touring artist.
Yes.
And that's rare nowadays. There's not, rare when I say in the local scene. There's not many people that get a chance to go and play in LA, We have a couple of Montreal artists that do it.
Yeah.
And you're one of them, so that's fantastic.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's expensive. I certainly didn't make back what I paid out to play my shows at $20 a ticket. But still, I had this EP that had just come out, and I was like, I just want people to hear it. I want
old school.
as many, and that's how, as an independent artist, yes, you have to do everything yourself. There was a whole meme that went around last week about how it's not just the creating, that we have to do everything. We have to do our own social media, we have to book our shows, we have to drive our cars and do all these things, and it's hard and it's expensive, but it's the only way, because there is so much going on online, there's so much noise, that to get your song heard is really hard. And I'm not one of those people that's gonna pay to have my song on a playlist. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm a little too old school for that.
Yeah, and
I did hire a kick-ass publicist for 1 month because it's all I could afford. But he's a Juno Award winner, and he got me some press, and he's super sweet. I'm playing in Toronto next month, which is where he's based, so I'm gonna get to see him.
And dude, how about you give me 2 weeks just for fun?
Yeah, right? I might be like, hey, Eric, hi, it's me again. I'll buy you lunch at McDonald's.
Have you had smoked meat from Montreal? I'll bring it.
I'll bring you smoked meat and bagels.
Bagels, we're good. Oh my God. So you started your career in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, I love the fact, so years ago when I was a kid, you recorded an album.
Yeah.
And it was an album.
Yeah.
There was something to it. You had a theme in mind. You had, everything went around that theme, depending on the band, right? But there was a lot of thought into that. Sure. Then you took that on the road.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't make too much money on the road, but people hear you the way it should be heard, and then they buy your albums.
Yeah.
And then from that, you're making a little bit of money. The shows get bigger, and eventually, quote unquote, you become a star, right? If we all watch
we can hope.
The Motley Crue, I don't know if the Dirt, that movie
Dirty Deeds, not
the
Motley
movie,
Crue.
The Motley Crue,
right?
all these artists, I mean, they were playing like here we had the Rock Pile in St. Leonard. That was a rock place. And
I remember
you
that.
know, and in the movie you see them playing at the beginning as little rock bands, and then you know, bigger and bigger. But they're promoting their album, so they spend money on their album, they tour it, and then eventually the money comes back because every sale they're making money on the album.
Sure. I saw Matchbox 20
There you go.
as the opening act for Jars of Clay, the Christian rock band.
Oh my God.
And as soon as Matchbox 20 finished their set, I went and I bought their record. I was like, they're amazing. And I remember so vividly pumping gas and hearing whichever their first single was, but hearing it like, you know, at the gas station, you hear the music, and you're like, and I was like, oh my God, it's that band.
Finally, my album is worth something.
So, you know, like, I would open for you, Taylor, any day.
Any day, right?
Opening like act, one song.
There is a price tag for opening. If I'm not mistaken, they pay top dollar to open for a big artist. Or there
most
used to be.
of the time, like I went and saw Renee Rapp on Saturday night at M. Tellis, and she's somebody that I know like from the theater because she started in theater, and she's become a pop artist, and she's phenomenal. And I didn't know what to expect because so few pop artists, English speaking, come through this town, you know, and I was blown away by her two opening acts, as well as the audience. I was like, oh, these people want pop artists to come here. Yeah. So more pop artists need to come here. We just need to be able to get the word out. But her two opening acts, I looked them both up. They're both on the same label as her. So it's usually you know, their label mates.
Someone says, hey, you got to have this band. Okay. But I love the fact that you know, I created this EP. I want it to be heard. I want it to be heard in its purest form, which is live.
Yeah.
And you just, fuck it, I'm going to LA. I'm going to do a tour. I'm going to pack up the van and let's do it. And that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. No, it is, because I know artists that have tons of songs and EPs that like they'll do an album launch and then
that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, and it gets traction. It can go on here or there and playlists and stuff, whatnot. But in the end, you know, if you're not playing live, because that's how it's meant. That's it. You're supposed to feel the song, the singers. So, and you can, listening to it is great. You can like a song, but when you feel the singer belting it, because it's coming from here and here, it makes all the difference in the world. Yeah. And I'm glad that you do that. That's great. Do more of it.
I will.
Do a Montreal tour, RDP, St. Leonard,
right? I played, I did Casa del Popolo for my EP release, my Montreal EP release in August. Mm-hmm. And next month I'm going on the road for a week and a half, and I'm playing in Philadelphia, New York City, New Jersey, Boston, and Toronto.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So all of you's watching from all of those cities.
I'm tired already.
go watch Noelle. It's going to be a fantastic show. What kind of band are you, or like is it?
It's so I'm playing. When I was in LA, I played a set at a pop music festival, and I'll keep it super brief, the story of how I booked that. But my songwriting partner and producer, who's based in Nashville, his name's Scott Sachs. He's a Grammy award-winning songwriter, but very dear friend of mine. And we just started writing in the pandemic because, like, you know, what else were we going to do? We would go on Zoom and we would knock out a song in an hour. And he was being interviewed on a YouTube series called Material Issues. And the guy that was one of the guys that was interviewing him, his name is David Bash. Hi, David. And David runs a festival called the International Pop Overthrow Festival, which when I lived in LA was my favorite festival to go to. Okay. And so he's interviewing Scott because, you know, Scott's a Grammy Award winner and all. And
it's like a name drop if I ever.
And I was like, oh, hey, you know, in the chat, you know, like YouTube Live in the chat. And so Scott is like kind of introducing me to David, like, during the interview. So cool. And he's like, yeah, we just did a record together. It's coming out the end of July. And David's like, is she any good? And Scott's like, well, yes. And David says, well, send me your stuff and let's see what happens. And I wrote to him and I said, I'm actually going to be in California when the festival is happening. And he said, I just had a cancellation. I have a Saturday afternoon at 3:00 slot. And I was like, I'll take it. And they're like 30-minute sets. And I said, you know, I'd love to do, because he does it all around the world. Almost every weekend, there's an international pop overthrow festival somewhere. And his thing is to book primarily like unsigned, unheard artists to give them the opportunity. And so I said, I'd love to play, like maybe in New York or in Boston. Like I've never played my original music in any of the cities that I'm going to next month. And he said, well, let's see how you do in LA. We'll see if you're any good.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
Challenge
So I
accepted,
hired
bitches.
I hired a band. I hired 3 musicians. This is why it cost me so much. I hired these musicians and we had like one rehearsal, and I had other shows that I played with them, and we did it. We did the festival, and like David was great and we got along really, really well. And then I got home and he's like, so hey, do you want to play New York? And I was like, what?
I'll be
What's
there
happening?
now in 6 hours.
And then he's like, well, I've got New York, Boston, and Toronto 3 weekends in a row in November. Like, if you want, you can play at all of them. Okay.
Sure.
So I can't afford to bring a band with me this time. So it is myself and my dear friend Ian Baird, who plays piano, keyboard.
Yeah.
And so we're doing like a little duo thing.
Great.
And we're packing up the car on November 10th and driving to Philadelphia. We're doing house concerts, a couple house concerts as well. And we're going to have some time by the ocean in New Jersey as well as in Boston, because I was like,
Go for lobster.
Airbnb is going in the
There's a beach. Never mind lobster.
yeah, I don't care about the food. I just like the smell of the ocean. I miss it.
So right.
So yeah. So that's kind of, and it just kind of happened, and that's often how it is in the music business. It's what did they say? It's 20% talent, 80% who you know, and in this case, it most definitely was who I know.
It works like that, but in the end, and here's what it all boils down to, the way I look at it. Yes, it is who you know. We can't deny that, but you need to be ready, and that's the kicker. If you're not ready, you wouldn't have gotten any of these shows.
Yeah.
So it's who you know. That it happened, and then you went there. You did a hell of a job.
Yeah, and it's honestly, truly, I like. It sounds awful to say, but I like to joke with my friends like that. I kind of feel like I rocked the pandemic a little bit because I was stay at home 24/7 with my cats watching TV shows and movies. Like, I was like, what do you mean I can stay home in my pajamas and I only have to like get dressed from the waist up? So that was kind of cool. But the opportunities that I had to collaborate with other artists that I admire, like I started writing with my musical idol when I was 12. His name is Marty Wilson Piper. He played a guitar for a band called The Church.
Okay.
And, we kind of knew each other peripherally, and I had done a cover of one of his songs on my first album. And in the pandemic, he, we were Facebook friends, and he wrote to me. He's like, hey, do you want to, try to write a song together? Yeah. And then, with Scott and this record, and, it's kind of, I had put my songwriting and playing shows like this on the back burner to do theater. I had focused all of my attention in doing musical theater and plays. Wow. And, all of a sudden the world stopped and I couldn't do musical theater and I couldn't do plays, and a Zoom musical is not great.
It's not going to happen.
So I just kind of pivoted into this thing, and now people are asking me, when's your next musical? I'm like, I'm taking a break because I need to give this the shot that I've never given it in my life. And I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm not a spring chicken. And I'm like, and I'm not shy to say my age. I'm 55 years old, and
are you?
I am. I celebrated by going to Denny's because their senior menu is 55, and I thought it was hilarious.
Oh my God.
But so it's like I've been working in the entertainment industry most of my life. My father was an actor and a singer. Lots of, people in the industry in my family, producers and stuff. But I never focused all of my attention onto one thing. I was always doing all the things.
Oh, I know what you do. I know what you do.
I'm doing theater and I'm doing film and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I'm trying to be in a band. And when I moved to Montreal, didn't really know very many people here. Like I have some cousins here, but I didn't really have friends, and I didn't know too many people. And I'm like, well, what can I do? I can start a band. So I went on MontrealMusicScene.com and joined my first band. And, you know, it was great. It got me writing again and stuff, which I hadn't done in a while. But then the kind of, you know, the band, the dynamics in bands, and there were like issues and attitudes and like, I won't go into it, but stuff.
People happened.
And I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Like, I'm not having fun. I'm not making any money. And somebody asked me to sing in a musical theater concert, and they asked me to sing a song from Wicked. And I say, like, when that green light hit me, I was like, oh, I've missed this. And so then I kind of switched back to doing theater.
Okay.
And then pandemic and all this stuff. And I did quite a few successful musicals that I produced and performed in here in Montreal. But I've got to give this the time and attention that it deserves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of this.
Sorry to cut you off, Steph.
Yeah.
You look freaking fabulous.
Lisa's like, oh.
And I have not had any work done. My mother is 88 years young. Wow. She looks like she's in her 60s. I have good genes. This is probably the only drink that I'll have, like, for the next 5 days.
Oh, so what you're saying is that's why I look fucking old.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not a big drinker. I'm not a smoker. I'm not a sun worshiper, and I drink water pretty much all the time.
But you were born and raised in LA.
Born and raised in LA.
I think that's where the wrinkles come from. Is those fucking 40 winters that I went through. You only went through 15 of them.
I have one little guy up here.
Damn. Well, speaking of this, because you brought it up.
Yeah.
I'm sure right now people are just waiting to hear what this sounds like.
Sure.
So would you like to perform, I don't know, what would you like to perform? Do you want to do something with the guitar? Do you want to do something, an older tune?
So, yeah, I mean, my first album came out in, my first album, like, that was released. I had, a lot of those homemade CDs.
Yeah, well,
I have one called Songs from the Living Room that literally was songs recorded in all my friends' living rooms.
Okay.
But my first album, Somewhere in Between, which I wrote once I was living here. And, you talked about themes, and a lot of the themes in that record are about, like, kind of leaving there and coming here and not really feeling like I fit in there, but also kind of not feeling like I fit in here. And, that kind of dynamic of, like, uprooting your life and moving somewhere else. But this song that I'm going to play for you, I'm going to play something off of that album on guitar first before I give you something new.
Sure.
This song I wrote because somebody said to me, you singer-songwriters are all the same. It's always I, me. Why can't you just write a song about nothing? So I wrote a song called Nothing, where I say I about 20 times.
That should be featured on Seinfeld. That song should be featured on Seinfeld. Yeah. That was the whole thing about Seinfeld. The whole
premise was it was a show about nothing.
So what's the song called?
The song is called Nothing.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
hear Nothing.
Here we go.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Wow, great tune.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Okay.
I wrote a song about nothing.
That makes me want to drink nothing.
I wanna have a
wanna
drink.
drink nothing. So when did that sounded so that came out in what year?
2011, I think.
Okay.
And then I literally didn't release any music since then. And I barely wrote. Like, I have about 7 notebooks of half-written snippets, as Marty calls them. Ideas, half like a chorus maybe, or a verse, or like one line. And I just never went back to it. I just was not, I guess I wasn't feeling inspired enough to write. And now it's like I live stream on Stage It, which is a ticketed music platform, 3 times a week. And
okay, how does this work? So how can people come and watch you?
So stageit.com/Noelle Hannibal. It's pay what you can. So for $2.50 minimum, you can watch an hour-long concert. And like Robin Hitchcock is on, like a lot of incredible artists, Alicia Witt, some really amazing artists that I've met, Lisa Marshall, who's a soul singer she's in Virginia Beach, Danica and Jeb, who are out of Nashville, Aaron English, who's out of Nashville, Sarah Peacock out of Nashville.
Is it like you have to kind of buy time? Not buy time, but you...
So basically, I get a cut of whatever I bring in, and it's decent, you know what I mean, like it's nice. And the platform is really cool. It's been around a long time, like over 10 years. And you basically you can go on your phone, on your computer, you can put it on your TV, and you can watch a show. And I do, like, Friday I'm doing a pop-up show. It's a themed show. It's 1989 Elle's version, Elle Is Me. And it's celebrating the release of Taylor Swift's latest re-recorded album, which comes out on Friday. So I am a Swiftie, and I have a lot of Swiftie fans and followers. So I'm giving them what I want and giving them what they want. They want. So So it's a really, really cool platform. And I started, like, in the pandemic, I was doing Facebook Live because I was like, well, at least I can just play my guitar. And then Alicia Witt, who is an incredible singer-songwriter, also a film and TV actress. You would know her if you saw her 100%. She tweeted out that she was streaming on Stage It. I was like, what is this Stage It thing? And I signed up, and I watched her for like 10 months before I bit the bullet, because I was like, I can't learn another technology, you know. But it's actually quite easy. Like, you're going through OBS, and I've upgraded my equipment, and I have like a nice camera now and a good microphone, and it's really cool. It's very, very cool, and people can come and they can, and if they don't have the funds, some people don't have $2.50, but they want to watch a show. There's an option in every show where you can click Hitch a Ride, and another fan will gift you your ticket.
Oh, really?
It's a really, really special platform.
Do you, like, is it you book a slot and then you have to be ready at that time to start it, or you just put
Yeah,
your show?
I have, my shows are scheduled, so I had one this afternoon.
But let's say I want to watch the one you did this afternoon. Can I go
Oh,
back?
no, you can't. Yeah. The only way to watch replays of my shows is to join my Patreon community.
That's the way to do it.
Because I upload select shows. Like, I just had my 2-year anniversary on the platform last week, so I uploaded that. But it's,
and when you book it, it's week, like you have to take.
I do weekly. You don't have to. You can do one-off. Like Jensen Ackles from Supernatural, he has a band, and they did a big show on the platform, which was like massive for them, but also for us. It got more eyeballs on our platform, and that filters more people into our shows. So I do every Tuesday night at 7, every Wednesday at 2, and every Saturday at 3.
So cool.
Yeah. And like, it doesn't matter if I'm touring. Like, if I have to obviously drive from, like, here to Philadelphia, I'm not going to do a show that day kind of thing. But I try to not cancel shows as much as possible. And whether or not I'm doing tons of live shows and I'm busy in life and doing theater and doing this and that, I'll still always be on Stage It. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you see the feedback as it's coming?
Yeah, so now I have it set up in my I used to do it like in my little office in my upstairs in my house, like behind my desk, you know, like that was the only space I had. Then I kind of moved stuff around in the basement, and then I had one spot. Now I'm like kind of in a corner, and I have a 40-inch monitor in front of me because it's like Facebook Live or YouTube Live where I can see the chat.
Sweet.
And part of what makes Stage It so special is the interactiveness of it. Like today, I was like, ooh, I have an extra 5 minutes and I'm finished what I had planned. What do you guys want to hear?
Wow.
And they're like, hey, can you do this song? Sure.
Oh,
You know,
cool.
so it's we're collectively, there's a like kind of a group of us artists and the fans that follow us and our friends, and we are collectively called the Fanily.
Oh, that's so
Finally.
cute.
I
And
love it.
we artists watch, like we gift each other tickets to all our shows, and we all go and watch as many of each other's shows as we can. It's so wonderful. And I mean, like I recorded this EP down in Nashville, and I stayed with Danica and Jeb, who are husband wife, amazing like acoustic soul pop duo. And I met them through Stage It, and they welcomed me into their home and let me stay with them when I recorded my album, and now they're my very dear friends.
Really
And
cool.
it's because of Stage It, you know. And
Wow.
like my friend that I was telling you about before the show, with my bourbon friend, hey Scott.
Hey, Scott.
I know Scott from Stage It. My friend John, who's down in Philly, we're going to be playing at his place in New Jersey and going to see a Broadway show with him. We met through Stage It.
Holy crap. And I never heard of this. Imagine.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's amazing. It's
Wow.
amazing.
I gotta do that. Sessions
You should
with
check
Steph
it out.
has to be,
yeah,
we do a Stage It every...
Totally.
Right?
yeah.
Or something like that.
Alicia Witt. She was in
Yeah.
Urban Legend.
She was an urban legend. 2 weeks notice is what I always think of her.
It's
She's
true.
a red.
She's very
She's
good.
a redheaded actress. She was in she started off when she was 9 years old in the original Dune movie. She was
Oh my
like the
God.
creepy little
Wow.
kid.
Okay.
And she's like, she does a lot of great Hallmark movies. I love a Hallmark movie. Hallmark movie is like my balance for the rest of the stuff I watch, which is like Dexter and
Nice.
murder and
Love that shit.
Criminal Minds and SVU, and then I will watch a Hallmark movie.
So, your style, what would you consider it? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's poppy for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So when I released my first album with that song on it, I always rejected the word pop, because pop to me meant like fluffy, nothing, like overproduced, polished, like,
Yeah.
I was never a lover of pop music except for maybe when I was very, very young.
Yeah.
My musical taste is very eclectic. Like if you look at my wall of CDs, which I have a wall of CDs, it's like, who is this person? You know, everything from like Sweeney Todd cast recording to, like the Beatles, of course, and the Church and the Damned. And, like I went through my like goth phase, which was called death rock back in the day when you're a Gen X, or wasn't
I remember
emo or
that.
goth or any of this.
Yeah.
So I always rejected calling myself a pop artist. But the fact of the matter is I write pop songs. And it took me turning 55 years old for me to be like, yeah, that's what I am. I call it indie pop because that makes it sound cooler.
There's definitely, like, I heard in a tourist, I listened to it, and so I guess melodically it's pop, but the sounds are not generic at all.
And that's the
Like
thing.
the music behind it is not generic, fluffy.
Yeah.
It's like your hook might be poppy.
Yeah.
It's a good, you know why they call it, poppy is a good hook.
For sure.
That's
For
what
sure.
it is, right?
That's
it
it.
becomes poppy because it's so catchy and everyone likes it, right?
Well,
So,
like when
nothing wrong with that.
When I started writing this EP, like it just kind of started with Scott Sachs, who I did this record with. It was like, hey, I sung on demos for him in the 90s. Like we'd never written together though. Like we never even, the conversation never even came up because I wasn't really writing that much, and I was doing my theater thing. And then we were like, I was down in Nashville to do a Comic-Con, and we met up, like we hung out, and it was like, hey, we've never tried writing together. So I got back, and last October we went on Zoom and we wrote a song in an hour, and we released it a month later. He played all the instruments and recorded his parts in his home studio, and I recorded my vocals in my home studio, and we released it, and people are like, this is really good. And what I love about Scott is that Scott is he's definitely a pop songwriter, but with a retro feel, which is kind of me too, especially being a Gen Xer, that retro thing. And I think that that's the beauty of our partnership, is that it is pop music, but it's got that feeling of like maybe something you might have heard in the 70s.
Absolutely.
Which that's my favorite thing about it. So indie pop.
Can we hear the song?
Yeah, of course.
I'm so excited.
All right, I need these though.
Yeah.
I'll try not to break them again. Oh. No, she's my little security blanket. Okay. This is Bluebird.
Bluebird.
I named her for the Bluebird Cafe, which I had a bucket list dream of performing on that stage since 1993 when I saw River Phoenix do a movie that talked about songwriters trying to make it in Nashville. And I dreamt of singing on that stage, and randomly last July I was in Nashville. This is when I had met up with Scott, and I got a slot at the Writers' Night, which you get to do one song. And it's very competitive to get a slot. You literally go on their website at 11 a.m. Central and keep hitting refresh. And if the button pops up and you're one of the first 18 people, you get to do one song. And they assign a number to you. And they assigned me number 13, which and I was like, this is a good sign, because this is where she was discovered. This is a good sign.
It's my number 2, by the way.
Is it?
It's my soccer
I'm
number.
7, so 7 is...
Okay. That's a soccer number 2.
Okay, there you go. So I got this slot, and I got up, and I was playing Scott's wife, Susie Brown, who is like the most incredible woman I've ever met. She is a heart transplant surgeon by day, singer-songwriter by night, and her merch says, saving lives and playing dives.
Wow.
Which is brilliant. And I had borrowed her guitar, and I got up and I played my song. And at the end, they're like, we have time for 2 more artists. We're going to put your numbers in a random number generator. And I was like, lucky number 13, lucky number 13, lucky number 13. And she's like, number 13, do you have another song? I was like, yes, I do. So I played the song I just played for you.
Oh, cool.
But playing Susie's guitar made me realize like the value of having a really good guitar. And I came back here and I bought Bluebird. That's her name.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Bluebird is beautiful.
So, yeah.
So let's hear Ain't a Tourist.
This is Ain't a Tourist. All right.
Don't need to see
horses. Before I hear the chorus, before you are the target, I ain't a
Yeah. Wow. Guys, look at this. I'm going to put this up here because this is the CD. That was the title track
That is. I'm
for
tangled.
I Ain't a Tourist. CD looks great.
Thank you.
Where can people go?
If
Purchase this.
they can go to my website, noellehannibal.com. It is available on all streaming platforms, but as any independent musician will tell you, we prefer it if you purchase our music. So
Yeah.
if you go on my website, you will see the option to buy a CD, to buy a digital download on Bandcamp, or to stream it on like Apple or Spotify or Google, wherever.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Amazing, guys. Go in there. We need to support local musicians and we need to support independent musicians. We need to make sure that the music that gets to people's ears is authentic and not someone's friend that shouldn't be singing but that has a look, because I've seen that way too many times and it gets me so angry. Like, you're looking and they're like, yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
I know 20 singers that are 100 times better, but they have that either look or charisma or I don't know, or just, hey, you're someone I know. Let me
Or they
pump
have like
couple
a
$1
rich
million.
parent.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't want to mention names. I do know people that have pumped tons of money into their child and it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
It sometimes actually.
Doesn't always work, but also it's not a lasting career.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
It's not something that is gonna, like, unless you keep funneling that money in, which, you know, who wants to keep funneling money into their 45-year-old kid's music career?
There's something about, I want to say, the grind, the work put into, like you said, you put out a song in an hour, but as you said, it's not really an hour because you have tons of ideas that you write. So you don't have that full song, but someone might say, hey, you know what? I have an idea. And you hear a chord progression. You say, wait, I wrote this. That took me fucking 20 hours about 8 years ago. Let me go back into that and work it again for another little while to make that into a song, because I think that might fit here. So it's 20 years or 30 years or 40 years of work.
Sure.
And it's hard. You can't put a number or a time on it. And that's something that, you know, we need to, now that it's free for everybody, you need to support it. Yeah. We need to support it. We need to put money into it. So, you know, put a couple of bucks down. Watch out her live stream, $250. Like, I can't buy a fucking coffee for $250. Right? She has probably, I'll say, $5,000-$10,000 worth of gear just to do that $2.50. Like, right? It's perspective.
That's true.
Right? You got about
it is
five.
Very true.
You've got, besides the lessons and on how much you practice, if you put that into time, if you take the time and you put that into money, that's worth a lot.
Oh,
and
for
you're
sure.
paying $250.
Yeah.
You're
Like
paying
for my 3 streams a week, like I do like the theme shows, like I'll do the show I'm doing Friday, or I'll do like just a Broadway show, or I'll do an all original show, or, like trying to come up with creative ways. But I have binders upon binders upon binders of lyrics and chords, and I sit down the day before every single show and I go through my binder and I pick my 10 songs that I feel like I want to do. Or if I've had requests, like I'm doing a Halloween show and there's a musical theater song that I do that one of the family members named Jennifer loves to hear me do. It's a song called Velociraptor. Okay. And she's like, Halloween's a perfect time for Velociraptor. I was like, I will remember that you asked for that song and I will give it to you on Halloween.
Fantastic. Yeah. Right? That's great. Guys, give the money, please. It's not much. It's if you go for forget it. You can watch 8 shows for a Starbucks coffee. Like, really, like fuck off, man. Like, come on.
So true.
Okay, so now, if you don't mind, I'd like to get into, because I'd like to get into a few segments that we do on Sessions with Stef. And while we're doing that, we're going to learn more about you.
Okay,
So,
uh-oh.
Yeah, there's 3 segments. The first
Let
one...
me finish the scotch.
Yes, let's do. Oh, yeah, the segment gets better with scotch. Mine is almost... Wait a minute.
And you had a refill.
I did. I'm going to have another one, too. I once finished... We were 3 and we finished the whole bottle during the podcast. Yeah, it was
I have to drive home, so that's probably not.
And you know what's funny? They're releasing a song, and we had such a great night that night. I was with the Skirts, and they just posted they're releasing the songs. They needed keywords for a song, and they called me, and I did the keyword parts. They're going to be releasing that song. So the Skirts, guys.
The Skirts.
Franco, Ray, come on, man. It's because of this.
It's because of the scotch.
So the first segment that I love doing is called Worst Gig Ever.
Oh.
Okay, and this is it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, not worst performance ever, worst gig ever. So I can give you a million of them.
I take medication so that I don't remember
right?
that.
But we can all relate, because someone could say something small, and as a musician, we relate to say, oh my God, maybe it didn't happen like that, but I had this that happened.
Yeah.
Is there something that comes to mind, like a bad sound, a crazy person in the crowd? A fuck up on the instrument.
The first thing that pops into my mind is actually a concert version of a musical Chess that I did here in Montreal, and we were using headset mics, and I got up to do my big solo, and it was crackling. Oh. And it was sold out. Oh. And I looked at the sound guy, and he was on his phone. And I was like,
I'm going to kill you, bro.
Yeah, so that was that instantly popped into my mind. But I've done shows where nobody shows up.
Oh, yeah.
I've done shows where I've been heckled. Show us your tits. That's always really going to get me to show you my tits if you shout that out to me.
Yeah, for sure.
On stage singing.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's a new segment.
Yeah. Show us your tits.
Show us your tits. Oh my God, that's
so funny, stuff I played it off, but afterwards I was like,
yeah, when you think about it,
it's I'm all for cheering for an artist and, sometimes shouting out a song even. Sometimes it's okay. Yeah. But stuff like that is just don't throw your underwear at an artist on just don't.
Unless it's Tom Jones.
When I first met, so Scott, my producer, wrote Joey McIntyre's first album with him. Joey's from New Kids on the Block. Yeah, New Kids on the Block,
totally.
So
Lisa's fanboying, right?
I know him as Joe. And so we met back in LA before I moved here and stuff. And then I moved here, and Joe booked, what was it called? It was called the Cabaret. It was the old Just for Laughs thing down on Saint Laurent on Sherbrooke-ish.
Club Soda.
No, it's not Club Soda. It's higher up. It's just below Sherbrooke. I don't think there's anything there.
I played
now.
there. I'll never forget.
I think it was called the Cabaret. Yeah, it was this big open
I'll never forget.
room.
I played a gig there where no one showed up. So we were a 4-piece band, and the agent says, "We did the first set. Not a person.
Nobody."
And I get the call, and he's like, yeah, they want to pay you half. I'm like, dude, I'm here. No, you're paying the whole fucking thing.
You did your job.
Anyway.
Yeah, so Joe books his venue, and I'm a little too old for the boy bands and New Kids. I was a little aged out a little bit of that, so I was never really into it. But I just knew him as Joe, who wrote with Scott, and is part of our friends group. And so he's playing at this place, and I had just moved here. And I was working a temp job, and I invited the receptionist to come with me because I didn't have any friends. I literally had just moved here. And there was no way in hell that my husband was going to come with me to see Joey McIntyre. Not a chance.
He's like, New Kids on the what?
He's like, no. He's a Led Zeppelin, AC/DC kind of guy.
All right.
And
I'm down with that.
So we show up, and first of all, there's the line around of people waiting to get in. And it's all, back in the early 2000s, women with their hair coming from their business jobs, from their jobs and whatever, I walk up to the box office and my name is on the list, and first of all, the glares, these people hated me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, he's my friend. And so we go in, and I had never been to a pop concert until that. That was my very first pop concert.
Oh, wow.
And I never wanted to go again after that because they were screaming at him to take off his shirt. So the equivalent of shows your tits.
Yeah.
And they were throwing these women who had these gorgeous hair. The hair was down, the bras were coming off, and they were throwing them at like Joe. And I backed all the way up to the back of the venue. I was like, this is like, no. And then, you know, like, of course, like we had to go backstage and the more glares, and they were like in French. At the time, I didn't know what they were saying, but I don't think it was very nice about me,
not.
you know.
Probably
but that was my first pop.
Meanwhile, you're smiling and, we're going to have a coffee.
Yeah, you know, right? My second pop concert was Maroon 5 at the Bell Center. And
it's a good show.
I knew them before they were Maroon 5. I used to take photos of them for their publicity for free. Like, they were just guys I knew.
Dude.
And, you know, LA band.
Adam.
They came to play at the Bell Center. And I was like, just kind of horrified because... The band, I mean, not that they're a bad band. They're not the stuff that they play now is not the kind, like I don't, like I mentioned, I don't like overproduced, polished pop. The band they were before was very like Jamiroquai, Stevie Wonder, like, which you can hear with Adam's voice.
And you can hear it with, what's that song? I love that song.
Yeah, that's from their first album, This Love. Yeah.
And,
so like,
and it's changed, yes.
We went down to see them in Albany in 2001. And there were like 3 other people there in this little dive bar called Valentine's. And then the next, like a few months later, Terry DeMonte played them. And I have never written an email to a DJ before, but I was like, oh my God, those are my friends. Oh. But going to see their concert, like now they had blown up and they were like Best New Artist, Grammy Award and all that stuff. The 12-year-olds with the belly top, like, I was like, your mother lets you out of the house. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fan of going to shows like that. It's weird to me.
That's the problem with the music business.
Yeah.
In the sense of they know how to make money.
Yeah.
And that's, how do I cater to the 12, 13, and 14-year-olds? Because
whose parents are going to buy their
Whose parents are going to buy
tickets.
their tickets, and they have to go with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're going to buy the merch.
Yeah.
And then everybody in school, if I have it, oh, but she has it, and she has it, so they're going to buy it.
And they were truly the biggest band in the world at the time. And it was sold out, and it was insane and loud. And I don't think that they've been back since, maybe, but I don't think so.
That's the sad part about pop for me.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes I'm like, you're catering to a 13-year-old. Like, it's cool that a 13-year-old likes it, but in the end, a 13-year-old likes it. Like, they're not, like, what have they lived?
Yeah.
How can they relate to a song?
Yeah.
And they just don't care about catering to you and I and Lisa. And because, you know, those people lived and they now know music.
Yes.
So if I can get them, it means I'm doing something musically that is worth something.
Yeah.
If I'm just dropping a beat and putting a rap to it, or I don't want to say rap because rap is a different story, but if you just put a shitty hook over and over and over again,
and it's like you can hear the auto tune, and like Adam doesn't need auto tune. Yeah. They're doing it as an effect, which, like, you know, we doubled my vocal, like, which is that like made my eye twitch because I was like, no, but it works, you know, but. It just...
Yeah, but that's your vocal.
Yeah.
It's not a computer.
Yeah. But it's like, why are you auto-tuning Adam Levine? Yeah. Like, he is an incredible voice. Like, from the time he was, like, 20 years old when I met him,
and
I was
he's
like...
in the studio and he makes a mistake,
he is going to be a star. Like, I knew instantly when I saw that band for the first time, they're going to be massive. They're going to be massive. I did not expect... Like, I didn't expect it to be like throwing underwear at the stage massive like that. Just that whole vibe is like, my husband asked me what Taylor Swift's demographic is, because he said to me, I don't get what your obsession is with.
It's the globe.
He goes,
they don't have a little bit of.
He goes, I don't get what your obsession is with a billionaire that's half your age. And I was like, Look, first of all, I'm not 70, so don't say half your age. But I said her demographic is everything from 12 to my mother, who wanted to go to opening night of the movie because we discovered her together in 2006, my mom and I.
Yeah.
And we would listen to her first album in the car all the time. And it's like, my mother's 88, you know, and going to her show was a totally different experience. I'm going to a pop show, yes, but first of all, her vocal is first and foremost what you hear. Second of all, she's not 16 anymore, and when she started cursing in her songs, I was like, yes. And she does it quite a lot now.
Yeah.
Which, you know, of course there are clean versions, but I love that because it's not just for children, you know what I mean? It's mature. And it was like all, like, I'd say the majority of people that were around me at her concert were probably in their 30s.
Does she sing live?
She sings live.
See, and
you can tell she sings live because she's got the best walk. First of all, she's my height, which I love. I'm 5'11", and like, I love to see a tall gal, and I love to see a tall gal in heels who's not afraid to wear heels.
Yeah.
And she has the best strut. I can't do it. I try. She's got something. It's even more than a model strut. Yeah. And she's going from one end of the stadium to the other 27,000 times during her 3.5 hour show. And you can hear when there are times when there's the kind of support track behind her. And there are times when if she wasn't dancing, she would probably sing the in Cruel Summer, but she doesn't. She holds up the microphone and lets the audience do it. But you can hear her breathing. Yeah. And, you know, and I'm a very in tune to vocals, so I get
frustrated with that. I'm like, because I've had arguments with people, like literal arguments at a dinner party, and like, oh, that person's, and I'm like, yeah, they're faking.
They're not singing live.
They're not singing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, I know, but it's okay. It's because you go to watch the show. It's not okay.
I'm going to a concert because I want to see a live experience.
It's like I tell you to go watch a fucking Robert De Niro movie, but I tell you that it's not actually Robert De Niro. It's AI doing that. It's a fucking fake.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, right?
The strike right now. Right? Because that's what they want to do.
No, but
they want to.
And they're like, no, but you're looking at it differently. It's because you got to go watch the whole show. I'm like, yeah, part of the show is the singing, and that's the first part. So I'm not a big fan of Celine Dion that I go crazy. But when I saw her show,
she's singing live.
Fuck. That she can dance or not, I couldn't give. Not that I could. It's great if they can sing, dance, and do the big show. That's what admires them. Yeah. The rest, faking and dancing. You're a dancer. Yeah. So you can be on fucking, what's that stupid Dancing with the Stars, right? Yeah, cool. You're a dancer, but I'm going to see a singing show. Yeah. I want you to sing. And if you're not singing, you know, Mariah Carey.
She's doing 45 songs on this tour. 45 songs.
That's a serious
And she says, like, before she does one of her songs, Champagne Problems, which is off of one of her pandemic albums, she says, you know, like, people on my team said to me, like, what are you going to do now? This is the world shut down. Like, you now have 5 albums that you've never toured with. Like, what are you going to do? Like a 3.5 hour show and do like songs for, and she's like, yeah, actually I am. 45 songs.
That's insane.
And like, I mean, so much of it. I highly encourage you to go see the movie. Like, I know it's $20 and that sucks, but I've gone 3 times. Yeah. And I'm going again this weekend. But it's truly like something just to behold. You're just like, I can't believe that this woman is doing what she's on top of the music industry. She's putting on a show. She's giving the fans who have stood by her when she was canceled, she's giving us what we want and what she thinks we deserve because she appreciates us and she gets why she's in the position that she's in, and it's because of us, and she's grateful, and it comes through in everything she does, like from the costume changes to the like custom Louboutin boots and with match every outfit. Oh my God, I die for those boots. I bought myself a pair of $50 dupes off of Amazon.
Whatever, it works.
Nobody needs to know.
We gotta do a quick segment of First Thought.
Okay.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is a quick segment. It's gonna get to know you a little bit more. I'm gonna ask
Okay.
some crazy question. It's the first thought that comes to your mind.
Sure.
Like favorite TV show.
See, that's hard. Because like with streaming, then you go back to shows. So like
Yeah.
I'm currently binge watching Damages
Okay.
from Glenn Close and Rose Byrne and Tate Donovan, like Martin Short. Gosh, it's so tough. I think I would have to go with The Morning Show right now.
Okay.
Like The Morning Show. I love Reese Witherspoon. I love Jennifer Aniston. And I would die for Billy Crudup.
Okay. Okay.
Love Billy Crudup.
Since you're a theater performer, favorite musical?
Sweeney Todd.
Of all
No
time?
hesitation.
No.
Since I was 11 years old and my mother took me to see it, and everybody gave her shit for taking her child to see
Okay.
a musical about people who murder people and bake them into meat pies.
That's great. I'm hungry now.
Still my favorite.
Favorite food?
Favorite
Meat pie.
food. Yeah, favorite food. I'm going to have to go with anything Mexican food.
Sweet.
California girl, Mexican food all the way.
Sweet.
It's the thing I miss the most living here because
Oh, there's nothing? No. See, I can't judge. I went to a Mexican restaurant on Friday, and I loved it. But I don't know.
there's
real.
one that opened in Lachine like a year or so ago that I went to a couple months ago that was the closest to actual Mexican food. Like Three Amigos is great in a pinch, but it's,
No.
I mean, like, fajitas do not have cauliflower and broccoli in it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
don't
It just
do that to
doesn't.
me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. It's because I really love Mexican food.
Yeah.
But I know, like, I've tried authentic, and I
Yeah.
love it. And I know, like, Three Amigos is definitely not even.
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna happen. I mean, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
But
Like I
again,
said, in a
still-
pinch.
I feel I don't know. I don't know a real.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Try the place in Lachine. I'll ask my sister-in-law what the name is, and
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
I found this place called
was really
Taco
good.
Shon, which is a good play on words. But it was. I felt it was authentic.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
seemed real. No one spoke English. How about that?
I'll try.
That was good enough
I'll
for me.
try it. I'll let you know.
Anyway, okay. Now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, the hard
Okay.
stuff. So, what's the best live performance of a band you've seen or artist other than Taylor Swift? I'm gonna have to go with the other than
3.5 hours, man. I
Yeah,
tell
can't
ya.
beat that.
Who have I seen that I've loved? Like pre-Maroon 5, they were called Cara's Flowers. I would go see them every single weekend. They were just phenomenal. Gosh, that's really hard because it's like then you see something new and then you're like, oh, so now I like my whole world, my whole aesthetic is Taylor Swift.
Gotcha.
From the friendship bracelets and everything.
Uh-huh.
But I think I'm gonna have to. I know exactly who I'm gonna go with. The most recent concert that I've been to since Taylor was I went to see Beck in Toronto.
Oh, cool.
My friend Jason plays guitar for Beck.
Okay.
And like I have his first album, like 2 turntables and a microphone, that album.
Yeah.
But I never seen him live. I didn't really know anything about it. And Phoenix opened for him.
Okay.
And I was like, this has got to be in my top 10 of concerts I've ever been to.
Sweet.
So, yeah,
Wow.
I'm going to go with that. And like, he's not somebody I listen to regularly, but I was blown away.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about if I ask you best front person of all time?
Freddie Mercury.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
Tied with David Bowie.
Yep, I see it. Totally
My
see
cat is named Bowie. One of my cats is named
okay.
Bowie.
David
My
Bowie.
cats are classic rock cats. I have Baba O'Reilly, but Riley for short
Okay.
is my tabby, and Bowie is my black cat.
Bowie is your
And
okay.
he's as weird and wonderful as the person he was named for.
Okay, that's pretty
yeah.
cool. Okay, now I just want to get a reaction. So if I say, when I say the word death metal, what comes to mind? Like
No.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, that's what I figured. But you never know. Okay, last question.
Okay.
And this is a pretty good one. You get to put together your all-star band. It's whatever you like. Actually, no, wait. Right before we do that, that's usually the last
Okay.
segment. I have Lisa's question. Favorite lyric of a song. She came up with a section. I don't like it. That's a good one because it gets you going.
I know I'm talking about Taylor a lot, so I'm so sorry.
But you're allowed.
But
Yeah.
my favorite, I have two favorite. For the longest time, I had one favorite song of hers, which is called All Too Well off her album Red. Lately, I've been listening to a song called Clean a lot, which is also fantastic. But a lyric in All Too Well that crushes me in the best possible way. And you call me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest. I'm a crumpled up piece of paper lying here, and I remember it all too well.
Oh.
Who hasn't felt that?
And what was his name again? Sorry.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, really? I heard he's an asshole.
We don't speculate on her personal life, but
That's
it's
right.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's Jake. I hate him. He's an asshole. I don't fucking know. Okay, so now back to the other question. That was a good answer, by the way. So this is, you put together your all-time band, like Living Dead, could have a keyboard player, could not, could be just
Okay.
you and his... Well, no, not you. You're not in the band.
I'm not in the
So it's
band.
you're putting together
Okay.
your all-time
All
band.
right. So I'm going to put together like a very big band. It's going to be Freddie and David
Ooh.
and Prince.
Oh.
Nice.
Is he playing an instrument too? 'Cause
He's
you got
playing guitar
Fuck yeah.
because while my guitar gently weeps is the single most greatest performance I've ever seen on my television.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Oh, already, I mean, by the way, I've never been that excited for like a
And
line
you
of
know,
that.
you're like, oh, this little pop artist, and here I'm pulling out David and
that was-
Freddie and Friends.
That was good. And then lead guitar, maybe you could put John Mayer. Just no. Anyways, I won't. You don't like John? He's a great guitarist.
I think he's a great guitarist
He
and
is a
he's a
great
great musician, but he's a shitty person.
Oh, I heard that too. I heard
He's
that
a
too.
shitty
I
person.
heard that too.
Anybody that like publicly talks about his sex life with his partners and names them
Oh, did
is
that happen?
just yeah.
I didn't know that.
He nasty.
Oh,
He talked
damn.
about like Jessica Simpson. He talked about Jennifer. Like he was.
He banged Jessica Simpson. Fuck.
Oh, and
I didn't know that.
Katy Perry too.
Oh, gross.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
How come I don't know these things?
Because you don't read Twitter. I don't
No, I
know.
can't give a shit.
All over ET.
So
E.T.?
yeah,
That's
entertainment
still around?
Tonight.
That's still around? What the fuck? That was 8 when that was going on. Okay, so sorry, I totally destroyed this whole thing. So you got Prince playing guitar
I
and
got
doing some back
Prince.
vocals for Freddie and
I
David.
I gotta say that I gotta have Scott. My songwriting partner, producer Scott Sachs. He started as a drummer.
Okay.
And he's a wunderkind. He plays everything, and he plays everything well.
Sweet. So he's on drums?
But he's playing drums,
Nice.
live drums. It's not tracked drums. He's playing
I'm
live
gonna have to
drums.
throw you
He's
out.
playing guitar. He's playing all of the instruments that you hear except for the vocals.
Love
it's
it.
all him except for on this track. A bass player that he works with named Bear Mitchell down in Nashville who played bass on Ain't a Tourist on that track.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to have to put Scott on drums, put him behind the kit. And he would love me for that. He's like, you're putting me with like Prince and Bowie. And like, okay.
Great. He's writing you a song now as we
Yeah.
speak.
I think there's a singer-songwriter musician that I love. I've always loved her. In the 80s, she was in a band it was called Cowpunk at the time, called
Okay.
Lone Justice was the band. Maria McKee is her name.
Okay.
One of the greatest voices I've ever heard in my entire life. So I'm going to want Maria to be the co-front person, maybe, with Freddie and David.
Wow, that's a hell of a
little
lineup.
trio.
Is
So
there-
yeah.
Who do you have as a bass player? You gotta.
Yeah, who am I going to have as a bass player? Who am I going to have?
Do you want a rock edge to it? Do you want to?
I want a little bit of a... I want a rock edge, but like a little bit of a fun rock edge.
Okay. Oh,
I'm not so schooled on bass players.
okay, I can tell you that
Yeah.
Rhonda Smith played with Prince, and she's a
Okay,
Montreal
there we
artist.
go. All right, Rhonda, you're in.
She came from Montreal and she toured with Prince. And
Rhonda is in.
Rhonda Smith is
Yeah,
in.
but I mean, I can keep building this. We could be here all night as
Do
I'm
you
like,
have a keyboard player? Or do you have a horn section? Not many people bring up the horn section.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no to the horn section.
No horns.
No
Okay.
horns.
Okay.
No horns.
They're too horny.
They're too horny. Keys for sure. I'm gonna have. Ooh.
A lot of good piano players. A lot of good. Is it more synth sounds?
What's the guy's? The name from Styx.
Oh,
What's his name?
Lisa.
No,
Research.
his name is not Lisa.
His name is not. Yes.
Tell us, studio audience.
Yes.
She's
I'm just
Googling.
kidding. Would you like another drink?
No, thank you.
Is
No.
it? No.
Whoever the original. There's also a great keyboardist that had a bit of a tragic after the band thing, but he was a keyboardist for Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember his name. His first name was Igor. I can't remember his last name, but he had like a whole sexual assault case thingy, whatever. But as a musician, he was incredible.
A lot of musicians are fucked up.
What year for Styx? Because you have Dennis DeYoung.
Oh, Dennis DeYoung.
Dennis
DeYoung.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah. Dennis was amazing.
Dennis DeYoung.
I'm gonna have to drink just to say.
Okay.
don't know
Well,
why,
all right.
because-
Give me a little sip then.
You see? That's
See?
what I hear, right? Because I gotta conclude this. So we need to conclude with scotch because that's just the way it goes.
Okay, good.
I won't.
Thank you.
I won't overdo it. So cheers once again.
Cheers.
Noelle, thank you so much for coming and do this.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it opens up everything.
Opens up the sinuses.
Where can people find you? I mean, we know a couple of places, but can they follow you on Facebook?
I've got
Instagram?
every single social media
All
nightmare.
under Noelle Hannibal.
Instagram is NoelleAbella07 because I thought that Instagram was just like a personal photo sharing thing when I first joined, and they don't let you change your username.
Oh,
No, they don't.
So, but like my website has all the links. It's got the links to my StageIt. It's got the links to my
So the website is the
Facebook,
best
Twitter. Yeah, you can find my Patreon there. Like everything's there.
amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, StageIt.
StageIt.
Check her out on StageIt.
Yep.
And of course, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
We have a lot of, so Noelle actually knows quite a few people that were on sessions with Stef.
I do.
So that's great. Shout out to Tatum. Shout out to Karina.
My
shout
baby
out-
cousin,
Yeah.
Tatum Quinn.
That's so funny.
My baby cousin.
Little cousin, isn't
like
that
when
funny?
I moved here, she was 4, and I babysat her.
Oh my God. And it's funny because I know her because my baby cousin with
Oh.
Old Soul is
Okay.
her friend.
Oh yeah.
And they have a common fan that sent me a message saying if you had Old Soul, you gotta have them.
Aw, I
And
went and
said,
saw
"That's
her at
really
the
cool."
Hudson Porch Fest a few weeks back.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
fun.
Tatum's great.
Yeah,
Tatum's
yeah.
great.
Karina
Vincelli, who has a show coming out. She'll be back promoting her show and all
Bo
that
and
stuff.
Teresa.
Yeah, they were on. That's the last episode. A couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I saw that pop up and I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm going to be doing that.
And-
shit.
Let me see this guy.
I feel like a proper Montreal musician
Awesome.
now.
Fantastic. Once again, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Lisa, thanks for doing what you do there. All the research, the button pressing and all of that stuff.
Button presser.
So guys, of course, you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify. You can follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, Sessions with Stef. We also have another podcast called Let's Talk It Out, which would be Lisa and Francesca's podcast. So you can go check that out. That's every 2 weeks as well. Always on Wednesdays. Check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please comment if you have anyone you want to see on the show, or you know of anyone who should be on the show, or the sponsorship, of course. You know we love the sponsorship. But all of that good stuff, throw us that $2.50 for a show. I will take it. Thanks again. Guys, Sessions with Stef is now done. Thank you very much. Have a good one.